tonight's moderator, comedian and actor Michael Yo.
How you guys doing, huh? Oh my God, Ted Lasso, what an amazing show. You saw 2 episodes of season 2. Round of applause for season 2. Yes! I want to get right to it and bring out the people that make the show happen. First, Bill Lawrence. Come on in. Jason Sudeikis. Hannah Weddingham. Brendan Hunt. Brett Goldstein. Juno Temple. Jeremy Swift. And Christoph Hernandez. Welcome. First off, I want to start off by saying this show meant so much to a lot of people because it came out last August, and when it was very dark in the world, it brought light. Where there was a lot of negativity, it brought positivity. And when people were sad and kind of trying to find their way, it brought laughter and optimism. So personally, it affected me in a great way. I almost died from COVID, and this was one of the shows that I actually watched, and my wife loved me watching it because I laughed again. And I just want to say thank you personally because it really affected me, and it did a great deal for me. So thank you. So, but this is a celebration. 20 Emmy
No. Let's stop there. Let's just say goodnight and leave. Leave on a make.
No, but 20 Emmy nominations. Incredible. How does it feel to get that much love and support from the community?
It feels like.
Yeah. I guess my mic's here. No, it's overwhelming, and it's truly flattering. I mean, we sit in that writer's room first, 12 sincere, funny, talented, smart, complicated people trying to work through our own shit, and then we show up at work. Then we try to work through each other's shit, and then you leave, and then you're working through yours and theirs and these make-believe people shit, and then those make-believe people become real people by real people, and then it's overwhelming. And what's been truly lovely is the fact that so many different elements of the process have been recognized, from everything in pre-production to actual production to post-production, across the board, men, women, both our editors, 3 different directors. Numerous writers. It's really, really lovely. It's a show about a team sport, and making ensemble art is a team sport. So it feels like we're thankful.
Yeah, 100%. And what really jumped off the screen to me is how the women in the show are complex. They're not simple. They're not plain. They're not stereotypical. And I think that was an amazing part of the show where Rebecca, I didn't like her for trying to ruin the team, but I was invested and I wanted you personally to be happy in the show. And that's what great writing and that's what great television does and how it moves you. How important was that to you ladies?
I should probably take this. Give me a second. Microphones, please. Jill, can you hand your microphone to Brett?
Gigi? It was monumentally important for me, but profoundly so on a level that I don't know, I've created a friend for life that has changed my life off camera, and on camera makes me better every time I'm working with her. And I think getting to support each other on camera as Rebecca and Keely, and being encouraging of one another through all of what it is to be a woman in life, going through the shit stuff, the great stuff, the happy stuff, the sad stuff, the sexy stuff, the complicated stuff, and being there for all of it, and helping each other with some of the stuff that you maybe don't understand about it with yourself. it's something I'm really proud to have put out in the world, and I am so grateful for this group of male feminists for helping us create it.
They are staunch feminists, and thank God, because Juno and I was saying, you know, we fell in love with each other the minute we met, and it would have been so difficult to play women that are, as usual, pitted against each other, whether it be on a low level. And it just afforded us the luxury of taking these two women that are totally different types, different generations really, and showing that it can be so easy to just bolster each other up. And we get to do that in work and play, and so we're both really overwhelmed by it.
Women encouraging women always works.
And that's right. And how different of the show do you think it would be if y'all were pitted against each other?
I don't think either one of us would be here,
Yeah.
right?
It would
I
have
agree.
been a pedestrian.
It would have been a show about football.
There's so many other shows.
My sisters would have been furious. On a human personal level. That's not where I was raised. That's not what I believe in. I don't subscribe to it. Never in a million years would we have done that.
I always try to tell one story, I'll do it quick, is if you guys have seen streaming shows before, especially if there's a star vehicle, and this show started with Jason Sudeikis, one of the things I found most impressive about this show, if you go back and watch the pilot, the people we were making the show for understandably weren't excited when they first got it. And they're like, why you guys are starting with a 2.5-minute scene about a woman that American audiences don't know about. And it was
Yeah,
something
that wasn't scary at all.
I know. And it was really, I just remember how important it was to Jason to say that's the way to announce that it's just not my show, that it's also this character's show. And I was so impressed by it as a producer that I didn't roll over right away, as I usually do. But it was one of the main reasons that these women were so front and center from the start. So it's a big feather in Jason's cap. I thought it was cool.
How big of a challenge was it getting Apple to agree to, hey, you know what, this is gonna be a very positive show? Because we've really never seen a show where somebody's so positive and people watch it, because we've seen a lot of...
We have.
What, like?
Mr. Rogers. I'm in heaven.
Andy
Touched by
Griffith.
an angel.
Yes.
Andy Griffith.
Show.
Okay.
It's been a while.
I'm just
Recently.
saying, we're biting styles from all generations. We're like the more subliminal WandaVision.
But how was that challenge to you guys as writers to believe in that, first of all, like, because most shows you see it's confrontational and it's not as optimistic.
Executing it is easier than believing in it, because there is a quick currency. It is a cash business. Cynicism, sarcasm. You know, like you, boom, that's gold. Like whatever. There you go. There's snark. If you got to go to your 2, your 3, your 4 spot, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I fight that initial instinct, and then eventually that initial instinct gets subverted, and then the other ones bubble up. But snark, we would have things in the edit, like, you know, that would show up that kind of snuck through the writing process and the production process that were sarcasm, and it would be funny. It'd be funny, and yet it would feel like a paperclip in your bloodstream. You'd be like, that doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
You know, and so out it would go. You know, it's zeros and ones on a cutting room.
I mean, we still
trash
found
bin.
ways to do it in real life.
And oh no, my God. You know, here's something worth saying. The writer's room performance, snarky as hell. Plenty of snark.
There was one time.
No, we can't say that.
There was one time we put an actual paperclip in Brett's bloodstream.
That's true. Just to prove the metaphor.
Great sport. Great
Because
sport.
I gotta prove it before I use it. So yeah, once we put a paperclip in his bloodstream, and he rejected it. On your stool, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It didn't last for take 2, and so it was fucking waste of time.
But no, it was just the choice of the trickle down through from the main character. It just didn't fit.
One of the biggest questions I get from my friends, they wanted me to ask, the one-liners. I mean, how do you guys come up with all these one-liners? Did you grow up with a lot of one-liners? Are these things you've heard in the past, or?
I'd have to go line by line. I mean, we're only speaking for about 4 of us up here. Everybody here has performed those one-liners brilliantly, but like, we have a lot of people that write jokes for a living and love jokes, you know, like both in a successful way and unsuccessful way, but shots on goal. And so then you get, you know, you carve out these characters, you have an intention of what you want them to be, and then you have these amazing people come in, kick ass in audition, win the job based on their, you know, the way they put their individuality into this, you know, into this vague idea and make it real. And then those jokes, we just do bad impressions of each of their like versions of their characters, and yeah, like jokes sort of fly out. We have a tremendous writing staff.
I'll say one of the gifts. It's those of you that have been writers or are writers. It's rare that you have a writers' room full of performers from the show where you can almost try out lines in real time, and it's a gift with Brendan and Brett and Jason and even Phoebe Walsh, who plays Jane. You know, that you can wonder if their characters' lines will be funny, and they can just say them, and then you immediately know that the answer is no, it won't be funny.
Who else?
It's a brutal process, and also Bill makes us like stand on the desk every time to
Yeah.
try
Well, you
out
have to be raw. You have to be raw, and you have to be cut.
Yeah, but like, he calls it his dead poets audition.
There is a scene in, I believe, episode 3 or 4 where there's a curse in the locker room, and all the players.
6. That's 106.
106. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Sorry.
No, all good.
But there is all the players throws things into it. Rebecca, the character, throws something into the garbage can. But
Dustbin. We're in
dustbin.
You're in LA, Hannah. It's a garbage can.
It's a garbage can. But your characters, Brendan and Jason, you don't throw anything in that dustbin. So what would you have thrown your character? What would your character have thrown in there? Because I was waiting for that, and I watched it several times to see if I missed it. But you did.
No, you didn't. Yeah, no.
We not only had an original joke, but we had an alt.
Will you remind us?
Yes, one was.
So, meaning we did have something. We shot
You
it.
did, yeah.
We cut it out.
Now you're making us feel bad about it. So that's
Yeah.
One was, I think Ted holds up a Wichita State hoodie.
Yeah, or a
Wichita
t-shirt,
State
like-
being the school that he had worked for previously as a season pilot.
Both of us had.
Yeah, a little sad. And Ted throws his in and looks at me, and I hold up another one. I go, "Samesies!" And and there was one where I think Ted didn't throw in anything, and then I, out of nowhere, hold up an American college football, and I just look at Ted and I'm like, "I'm sorry," and I throw it, and Ted says, "We'll talk about that later." And off we go. As you can see, not that funny. But if you're asking, that's what we did.
Give it up for post-production.
Now,
The turd polishers.
now, Brett, I want to talk about your character.
That's the problem.
Gotta go on a biggie.
Now, Brad, I want to talk about your character for a second. You started as the captain of the team, then you kind of gave it over to another player, and now you're out of football. How was that journey for you playing that? You know, being the star and then going through this massive journey of not being in the game anymore.
You mean as an actor?
Yes.
Coming back season 2. I tell you what, I was like, oh, I'm really gonna miss playing with the boys on the team, and then I'd watch them in the fucking rain and think, yeah, it's fine actually, it's fine. It's all right, I'll get over it.
He's not really good at football.
And also, they actually can play football. So there was that. So season 2, season 1 I had the team, and season 2 I had Juno Temple, so I think I upgraded.
And Jeremy, what do you enjoy about Higgins the most?
Well, I'm the oldest, so I can get away with them in the world. Sounds like it. Oh God, yeah. So I can get away with silly noises, and do all sorts of stuff, and I think people think, well, that was what he did in his generation. It's an homage. That's what he's doing. It's an homage. Just do it. There's, we've got a whole, slice of people, older people. They're gonna get it. We don't get it. That's basically what I'm doing. It's musical writ large.
Yeah. Perfect. And Chris,
Art. It's freaking art.
it's art. It's beautiful. Krista, football is life. Do people run up to you and say that all the time now?
Football is life, yeah. Yeah, people come. It hasn't been as crazy as everyone could think of. I think it's getting crazier and crazier. But it's a phrase I love, and it's there for a reason.
Usually writers take credit for stuff that other people come up with happily and never admit it, but I think all the writers on here will admit that when we first saw Christo's audition tape, he said, "Football is life," talking to himself, and we stole it and we put it in the show, and he's the one that's closest to his actual character.
Football is life, it literally is. I finished today, football is life.
Now, what I love about the show too, it seems like
Same thing they did in a chorus line back in the 70s. They took the dancers' real stories and there's, So there's precedent. I'm just saying, Writers Guild wise, there's precedent. And everything's fine. That's all. It's just a legal thing. Just had to say it. Go ahead. Next question. What do you got?
Move on.
Who does our wardrobe? Well, that's funny. Yes.
On a serious note, I see the show now. We're touching on mental health issues. How important was that to bring in this show for you guys?
I mean, again, important is a weird word to put on anything when you're making it, because you're just writing songs. You hope people dance to it. You hope you like playing it over and over if you get the chance. That said, it was necessary. It was just necessary. So I can't attach importance to it unless there's follow through with it in real life. But it's just as someone that got to, fortunate enough to grow up in athletics, and we have people like that, again, ensemble art, working with the team, a family. Like, so whether it be people who played sports growing up, did musical theater, have worked in sketch groups or et cetera, or theater groups, it was important to know that when you take care of yourself, how much that improves the situations and the relationships you have around you. And so when you're in a group dynamic, an office, set piece, a team, sports, comedy, drama, what have you, we had to make sure that the characters took care of themselves.
Mm-hmm. And are we going to do a deeper dive on your character?
Me?
Yeah.
No. Shallow as hell, man.
Okay.
Jokes on gold. Jokes on gold and a mustache.
Just one line.
That's it. That's all I got. I wear Nikes. You wear Jordans? Very, very simple. I'm passing the baton. No.
But that is part of why we do explore mental health a little bit.
Wait a minute, what?
A little bit of why.
I didn't answer his joke sincerely?
These were meetings we had when you were off doing something.
Is this a fucking intervention? I was like, why did this show up on the calendar?
Everybody read your letters!
No! All at once. The only way I learned.
Had some mental health stuff happen to him in kind of like a big way. And it was
Spoilers.
in season 1.
Okay.
And that at least sets the stage for a bit of responsibility for us to open the door to talk about it more. So we bring in the Sharon character, and so those things are related.
I found it important. I just want to hold my hand up high and say that Keely really helped my mental health during this past year. And I think it's really important that we start talking about mental health in a way where we're not feeling ashamed to talk about it. And I think that is a really cool thing that the show invited that into the world this year. And truly, she taught me to be kind to myself because I can be really cruel. And so I was really grateful for her. So necessary, it was completely more necessary than I know how to describe, but it was important for me, for sure.
And what are you excited for people to learn about Keely this season?
That she doesn't have the same mental health issues as Juno. So I'm very grateful for her.
I steal that.
I mean, she grows with support of the people around her that love her a lot and keep encouraging her to see new sides of herself. I was thinking about it when you asked the question about burning in the, maybe I can say trash can, that covers garbage and rubbish. That's the equal ground.
Yep.
And maybe she threw out one of her old nudie magazines, right? Set that on fire because she's being guided into a completely new trajectory that she's kind of rolling with and getting a hell of a lot of support from that extraordinary creature right there, that beautiful blonde. And encouragement from this one, they're figuring it out. And yeah, she's got a really cool journey. I'm excited for her.
Nice. Now, how far into the show, because it came out in August, when did you know, like, oh, okay, people are paying attention to this? When did you all feel it? Like,
All right.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I was standing right over there with the cast, watching you all watch.
No, I mean,
Pretty true, actually.
that helps. But I mean, we joke about it because it sounds like showbiz, like, you know, the scuttlebutt. But it was. I mean, the show premiered on a Friday, or a Thursday night at midnight, or 9 o'clock at night. But regardless, on a Friday, and then on Monday, Bill and I were on a phone call with Apple, going, "So we'd love to pick up season 2." And I'm like, "Okay, I think this thing went ahead." Okay, because they'd had the episodes for months. Yeah, so there was something had changed, and you know, they don't tell you. So that was a good indicator that like something.
But when did you feel like the fans were on board?
Oh, well,
like,
that's
that's what I like. Not Apple. I mean, I love
I know,
Apple.
but you're right. I
love that. Apple's amazing. But like, what you feeling?
Apple's amazing, the best company.
The best.
on the planet.
Where'd you go? Your pupils got super big.
We should probably take a second for every cast member to say why they love Apple real quick. Everybody stay still and be cool. This will be over in like 5 minutes.
I'm just checking the temperature on my watch.
Just really quickly, Apple's life.
Yeah, what was that? I went super showbiz with that answer because there are guild members here.
There are, yes.
But no, I would think I know it was first online because we're all on lockdown. I know for me personally, it was me literally taking the trash out of my house in Silver Lake and having a car stop and someone going, "Hey, like your show." And it's the same thing I would feel walking around Sundays in New York when you do Saturday Night Live. And because you don't know, you're just doing it. We're just doing it. We did it like in the bubble that was making a show and being in production. Then we edited it and it was being received within the bubble of the pandemic. And you forget that people even watch Saturday Night Live until you're walking around Sunday and you're eating an omelet at 4 p.m. because you just woke up and you're like, and someone's like, "Hey, great job being, you know, that fucking senator." And you're like, "Oh, thanks. Oh, right. Yeah, people saw that." And so it's the same thing with the show. So I feel like we're getting it now more than ever with events like this, with being able to go out in public and where, you know, you'd be maskless in some situations. But yeah, for me personally, it's just happened recently.
Social media helps. I will tell you, everybody's answers and does it for themselves. Jason really is doing likes out there. It warms my heart. My favorite personally was the beginning wave, and I knew it was gradually changing. Anybody that said something like, "Hey, I watched Ted Lasso and it actually doesn't suck," I would always take the time to respond that I'm as surprised as you are. And it gave me such joy. But watching them reach out to all the people here individually, for me, I mean, as you know, there's no negatives to social media. And so to get to see that part for me was really, really fun. So.
I have never scrolled down something and seen so little negativity. I would just go, "Oh yeah, oh you liked it, you liked it, you liked it, come on, come on, come on, eight, no, everybody likes it." It was everybody liked it. In about a year on Twitter, I've seen about 3 people go, "Yeah, so it is."
We got rid of them. Long gone. Yes.
You get better at social media.
So was there a lot of pressure for